forget to subscribe.
And I am, as you can see, there's a nice little walkway down here. It goes all the way down. There's lots of shops and cafes. It's like a little Corso there. You've got a few restaurants and a park here. It's a nice little area right near a train station. And in this area, a lot of the girls have a lot of time. I just spoke to a girl and she's like, I'm not doing anything today. It's Saturday. What are you doing tonight? Nothing at all, totally free. Whereas if she lived in the city, she would be super busy with everybody hitting her up. But anyway, before we kick it off, I'm Dave, and this channel is dedicated to giving you no BS novel dating advice for the modern man. Top link in the description. Check out my website, onemanslifemission.com. So this location, it's nice little areas. Some nice buildings around here, nice apartments right on top of like a nice shopping area, and it wraps around. Both these blocks have lots of sushi restaurants and nice little restaurants around here. There's a park as well, and over the other side is the train station, so there's lots of flow of people coming in and out. You also notice that in quieter areas like this, it is easier to hook. So the hook rate is always higher in smaller areas. Whereas if you were to do it in the city, a lot of the girls more likely would have their guard up. They'll be in a rush. They'll have things on. They'll have a lot of guys giving them lots of invites to parties and all these other things. We're not too far from the city. I think it's important to understand that a lot of guys, there's a lot of guys out there that would only approach in the city when they live in an area like this, which is a gold mine. We've met some really cute girls here that have a lot of time on their hands. There was one girl in slippers that was super cute as well, and has nothing on, and it's Saturday lunchtime. So whereas if it was in the city, she might be dressed better. Doesn't mean that she's more attractive, but there's a very good chance that she is going out clubbing tonight. On average, but not always. Could possibly have a higher body count on average if they have more options in the city. That's just the facts. So there's guys that will live in the areas like this, then they'll meet up with their wing in the city, then they'll go do some DG, and they'll miss out on all the awesome opportunities in their own little town. It doesn't make sense to do that. Another factor is if you're approaching a girl in the city or too far from your own home, the girl's less likely to meet up with you for a date, or you've got to travel a further distance just to meet up with her for a date. It makes pulling a little bit more difficult as well. Pretty much makes everything more difficult. Girls are more likely to date a guy that is nearby where they are, unless you're in a small country town and you're willing to pay for her taxi or go pick her up if she lives an hour away or something like that. But generally, she would rather date a guy that lives nearby where she lives. It's a lot more convenient for her, and so therefore, why don't you approach girls nearby? And it doesn't mean there's lower quality nearby. There's quite a lot of high quality girls here, and we're probably 20 minutes to half an hour outside of the CBD of Sydney. So you're missing out on all those opportunities because, well, you know, it doesn't make sense to just approach in the city. It just doesn't make. I've hammered this topic down so many times. The other one is depending on the demographic of the girl, you should adjust your vibe and how you communicate. So, you know, some girls from overseas, they will come from a different culture than yours. Depending on what country they come from, you will have to adjust your vibe, the way you communicate, etc., etc. And if you have a cookie cutter approach where you approach with the same vibe all the time, then you might be missing out. You might only be getting the girls that react to the vibe that you're bringing and the type of communication that you're bringing as well. That means that over time you might notice, and a lot of guys do notice this, that they will approach all types of girls and that they will only attract a certain demographic of girl. Recently we were just talking about how some guys, they only attract South Americans or Latinas or Brazilian girls, and that's because he doesn't adjust his vibe to the other demographics. So if he's only getting girls that are from a certain demographic, he's not really adjusting to who they are, and he might not be present while you're approaching them as well. That's another factor as well. I think that's important to take on board. And another kind of high level thought that, or something that I've noticed recently, is that there are a lot more logical guys that want to get into Daygame, and that makes perfect sense. And then there's a lot of, like, say, generally younger guys that are cooler, they've got a good vibe, they're more fun to be around, that would prefer night game. Now the thing here is, it's funny, night game, if you are a younger guy that's very logical and you have no problem just getting to the point, let's just say you're one of those guys that will approach and go, "Hi, how you going? You want to go for a coffee?" You pretty much get straight to the point. A little bit too soon. You're not even giving them comfort. You're not even trying to build rapport before you even go for the pull or go for the hook. Some super logical guys that do that, they can be more suited to night game. Just keep that in mind. And a lot of those cool guys, the cool guys that love doing night game and dancing and having sort of fun conversations, some of them will be very successful in day game. But one thing that is very common is that, very uncommon, is that very few guys flip between the two. Very few guys want to do day game and night game and become proficient in both. I noticed that after a short period of time, most guys, they just pick one. They go, I'm a day gamer now, or I'm a night gamer, or I just do online game. They pick one. I recommend that you guys try everything and you try to integrate both, and don't just assume that you're better at night game because you had a little bit of success, or don't the same as day game as well. Don't just assume that you just because you got a little bit of success early on that you're better off just staying in the nightclubs, or you're better off staying on the streets doing DG. I recommend you do a mixture of both, especially when you're new. Don't get stuck in the behavior of just picking one thing and stuck in a routine, etc., etc. So, but anyway, I see I better get going. So anyway, that's just my thoughts. See you guys in the next video.